Whether your goal is to lose weight, learn a new language, or probably start a new job, every one of us at some point in our lives have set goals that we want to achieve, or actually write down plans that we want to achieve. In fact, it's an everyday thing. We do it daily, sometimes consciously and unconsciously. And an interesting fact is that your goal setting experience or your goal setting habits can tell a lot about a person's personality, their traits, and how accountable they might be. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Winna. For those of you that are new on here, you are most definitely welcome. So as you can see from the title already, I'm going to be telling you the reasons why I no longer tell people about my plans, my dreams, or my goals. So before I get into the reasons why I no longer tell people about my plans or my goals, why do you not tell people about your plans and your goals? Have you learned the hard way, or did something happen? Please leave it down in the comment section and I would love to read it. So let's get right into this video. So one of the reasons why I really don't tell people about my plans or my goals is the reason of failure. The truth is, failure is an indispensable part of life. You know, since when you were giving birth to, you would not say that you've not ever failed at something. We've all failed at one thing or the other in life. We've learned from it, we've moved on from it, and so on and so forth. But with telling people your plans and your goals, even with putting in your greatest effort, your will, your resources, everything into that plan, some plans don't just work out. And when you relate such plans to some people that you would tell, some of them might make mockery of you, which will not make you, who was a very optimistic person, become a pessimistic person, and you not even, enter into a state of despair, because these people don't understand that you gave it your all, and even with your all, you failed at that plan and that goal. But if you hadn't told that plan to anyone else, you will be able to pick yourself up by yourself and move on, because nobody literally knew that you failed at that goal or even had that goal. A vivid example would be that of my IELTS exam. If you follow me, you know I wrote IELTS like 5 times. So in the first 4 times, I was always telling people, oh, I booked my exam, I'm writing my exam. And the truth is, every time I fail the exam and I am being asked, oh, how was the exam, a part of me is like sad, unmotivated, different stuff like that. So I made up my mind at the 5th time that I wasn't going to tell anybody. In fact, nobody knew I registered for the exam or I even wrote the exam. They only knew that I wrote the exam when the result was out and when I passed. So I feel like, not telling people about your goals, and even if you end up failing, you owe it to nobody. So that's one of the reasons I don't really tell people my plans anymore. It's not because I want to fail. Nobody wants to fail in life, obviously, but it's just this allowance of, even if that failure happens, you can deal with it your own way. You're not putting people's feelings or what they say to you or say back at you, even if it's spiteful things, into consideration. Do you understand? Another reason I don't tell people about my plans is because the mind, you see, mistakes the talking for the doing. So when you have a plan and you already start telling people, there's this part of you that feel like you've already achieved your goal or the plan that you've set out to do, which is not true. Your mind is just playing a trick on you. So that happens a lot. You know, that happens a lot. Like when I registered for the IELTS exam, you already have people telling you it's okay, don't worry, you've already passed the exam, or it's an easy thing to do, don't even bother about it. Whether you like it or not, we're humans. A part of you will feel like you've already accomplished that goal when in fact you've not even started. There's even a research out there to even prove what I'm saying. It's a research about goal sharing and motivation, which was done by a certain Peter, is it Goldwizard? Or yes, Peter Goldwizard of NYU. So it was a research done by making a certain group, you know, talk about their plans and their goals, and the other group do the opposite. So at the end of the research, it was noticed that those that didn't talk about their goals as much happened to, you know, achieve more of their goals. So when you keep your goals to yourself, you can be committed to them internally. The third reason why I don't tell people about my goal is the reason of jealousy. Whether you like it or not, the Bible said that the heart of man is desperately wicked. We live in a world where people are jealous. Before I throw more light on this, let's look at a vivid story in the Bible, which is the story of Joseph. And this is, I'm going to read from my mobile Bible here. So the book of Genesis 37, and that's verse 5. It said, Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field, when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to eat. His brothers said to him, do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us? And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. Verse 9 said, then he had another dream and he told it to his brothers. Listen, he said, I had another dream, and this time the sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down to me. When he told his father, as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, what is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you? His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. So you could see the two group of people here. His own brothers were jealous of him. His father kept the matter in mind. So that's why I said be watchful of the kind of people that you tell your plans to. In fact, before we move on, let me tell you the 3 types of people you should never tell your dreams and your goals to. The first kind of people are those that don't have the courage to pursue their own goals. Like, you see them, they just live their daily life. They're not achieving anything. They don't have any dream. They don't have any plan of becoming better in life. And you are opening your mouth to go and tell them about your own goals and dreams. Sorry for you. They will do everything in their power to bring you down. The second type of people you should never tell your dreams and your plans and your goals to are those that are way too critical. Like, when they even try to give you advice about your plans or your goals, it's not realistic. Like, all they want is that don't just proceed with this goal or don't just proceed with this dream, because to them they see it too big, it can never be actualized. They don't even try and break. They're just way too critical. Oh, nobody has ever done this. Oh, you can't achieve this in Nigeria. It's never done. It's never. Those kind of people never, ever, ever, ever tell your plans and your goals and your dreams to. And this is what I also do. Okay. So the third kind of people you never tell your dreams and your goals to are people who are happy with being too comfortable, or people who have a mediocre attitude. Like, they're so comfortable, they can't take risk, they can't do nothing. So never ever ever tell your plans to such people. So with the story of Joseph, when I was studying it, I came up with something. I wrote something down here, and I'm going to tell it to you. Here it says there's a lot of competition and jealousy these days. You should know that. Your goals could be overwhelming for some people. You might even be showing them a mirror, highlighting their own incompetencies and flaws. I believe that you shouldn't share your goals and plans simply for the fact of avoiding negative energies coming your way from people who are either skeptical or don't wish you success. People with negative envy, or those that have issues and jealousy of other people's success, these people could be anybody. It could even be your friend, your family. Like in the case of Joseph, it was his brothers. It could be your colleagues. So most people do not want to see you succeed. Oh my goodness. If you know the world we live in, some people don't want to see you succeed. Anytime you share the success story of any of your goals, you see them, you could literally see their faces frowning, wishing that it was them. They are not even happy for you at all. Even your closest friends and family oftentimes might want nothing more than to throw a wrench into your plans. Others will do everything in their power to send a dagger through your chest just to ensure that you don't succeed. So my advice to you is keep it down low, and brag about it once you have achieved your goal, or once you've gotten to a level of accomplishment that you want to go to. Sometimes just keep your plans to yourself. So these are the 3 major reasons I really don't tell people. So am I saying don't tell your goals to people? If ever you must, you have to be careful. I came up with 3 ways have actually helped me out with not telling people my goals or my plans until they've been achieved or come into realization. Number 1 is journaling. I journal. When it comes to journaling, I journal. Here's one of my books of which I write. I write a lot. Anything that comes to my head, I write. If I have an ongoing plan, I write it there. You write the steps you would take. You tick off which steps you've achieved and all that. Keep writing. It's so, you don't know how powerful writing your plans and your goals are. Writing your plans and your goals down has a very powerful impact on your mind. When you write, it helps you make a blueprint that signals your brain about the importance of your goal. So write, okay? The next thing I do is that I make positive proclamations and affirmations. Oh, winner, you can do it. Winner, you're good enough. You can achieve this goal. The Lord is your strength. Things like that. You wake up in the morning, you go through your journal that you've written down. You bring it alive with your words, okay? And then the 3rd thing I do is I pray. In this time and age, we really underestimate the power of prayers. You pray your plans into existence. You tell it to God. In fact, before telling it to anybody, you tell it to God. And this is the beautiful thing about prayer. When you commit your plans to God, you have this spirit of discernment that if you are not supposed to tell that plan to a particular person, you just know, your spirit man knows. So when you pray, you're aligned with God and you're aligned with the will of God for that plan or that dream that you've had or that goal you're trying to achieve. So change your methods. If ever on any occasion you want to or you have to tell somebody about it, stay very vague about it. Stay as vague as possible. Like, for example, instead of saying, oh, I'm writing an examination for the purpose of getting a license into practicing something like that, instead of going into all the details, or you can just be like, oh, I have a project coming up that I'm working on, you know, when everything is settled or when everything is in place, I'll let you know. You aren't lying, but you're not just giving details about what you're trying to pursue. So stay as vague as possible. Another thing is, you know, stay away from your mind trap, your mind trying to make you feel like you've achieved your goal when in fact you've not even started. Start working on your plans and make sure you keep an eye on the goal, because you're going to achieve it. Trust me, you're definitely going to achieve it. So the major reason I actually just stayed off of telling people my plan until they're actually where I want them to be or actualize that, I just noticed that most of my plans, I tell people, I tell this one, I tell A, I tell B, I tell C, they never really work out. You know, they never really work out. But when I keep it to myself, achieve to a greater level and tell people, it works out most of the time. And yes, we have friends, we have family, but no one really wants to be hearing the failure of a particular goal or dream every time. Okay, so yeah, tell me, are you the type of person that tells your goals or not? And leave down in the comment section reasons why you no longer tell your plans to people. Let's get learning. Okay, so as I like to end my video, I actually always love to pray for you. So I pray for you that every goal, every plan, every dream that you have will be valid. It will come to pass. God will give you the wisdom to achieve that goal, that plan. And if ever you must tell anybody that will help you in actualizing that plan and that goal, God will give you the spirit of discernment to know who to tell and at what time to tell them, because there's a right time for everything. God is just going to give you the wisdom to actualize the goal, to actualize the plan, to actualize the dream. And at the end of the day, the name of the Lord will be glorified in Jesus' mighty name. Until my next video, bye.